Hi, Jim Craig here with Coffee and Astronomy, and I hope that headline got your attention because that's what it was intended to do. Today I want to talk about sensationalist headlines in news reporting, particularly news reporting about astronomy, because sometimes they're a little bit misleading, sometimes they're just grotesquely wrong. And at the end of the video, I will also explain what the headline meant. Because yes, the International Space Station is falling. The moon is falling. The Earth is falling. Mars is falling. That's generally what an orbit is, but I'll go into that in a bit. The primary reason that headlines are sensational is because they want to get your attention, either to sell newspapers, to get you to click on a website, and particularly in these various clickbait websites. And there's some words you need to watch out for. First of all, extremely rare. Well, yeah, a lot of stuff that happens in astronomy is extremely rare. And words like super, the supermoon. That simply means that the moon is at perigee, its closest approach through the month, so it looks slightly larger than it does at apogee. If you're not out there with a reticle in your eyepiece measuring, you probably won't notice. There are other phrases that have come into vogue, like blood moon. It's an eclipse. And eclipses aren't that rare. Usually you can find either a solar eclipse or lunar eclipse. In the case of blood moon, we're talking about a lunar eclipse. But somewhere in the world, maybe twice a year. They're not that rare. Blue moon, you hear, oh, blue moon. This just means that you had two full moons in the same calendar month. That happens every couple of years. A few years back, there was... it happens anytime you have a full moon on the first of the month, in a month that has at least 30 days, because, the months can be anywhere from 28 to 31 days, and the lunar cycle from full moon to full moon is 29 and a half days. So if you have a full moon on the first, you can have another full moon at the end of the month. And a few years ago, there was one that happened in January. There was no full moon in February, and then March had two full moons. Now that was pretty cool. And again, interesting, but not anything you need to lose your mind over. Anytime you see an article that says NASA scientist, first of all, unless the article has the name and contact information for that scientist, they didn't get it from a NASA scientist. But also, they're sensationalist headlines designed to get you to click, because every click, every time you pick up, they get advertising revenue. And that's what their business is. Yeah, bringing you the news, that's cool. But they use that to get your attention so you will get the advertisements. That's why you see a lot of places will not let you access them if you have your ad blocker on. Or a lot of them are behind a paywall. Usually if you have that paywall up, it means that when you approve them, you're going to get the ads as well. And that's what their business is selling ads. So keep that in mind. Be really careful and mindful. Watch out for buzzwords, big words. Also, if you get emails, if people send you stuff in emails, make sure that they include the year. Back on August 27th of 2003, Mars made its closest approach in all of human history. And the person who posted it forgot to put the year. So this thing kept popping up year after year after year, every August 27th. And I was working in a planetarium. I'd get calls, oh, is Mars going to be really big? Also, they didn't word it carefully. So people thought, oh, I'm going to go out and look at Mars, and it's going to be a half a degree across. It's going to be as big as a full moon. What the article actually said, if you read it carefully, was if you look at it with a telescope of 75 magnification, 75 power, it's going to look as big as the full moon does to the naked eye. If Mars ever looks as close as or as big as a full moon in your night sky without magnification, Earth is in for a really, really bad day. Now, before I wrap up, I did want to talk about how I said the International Space Station is falling, and it is. That's what an orbit is. Let's see if I've got something circular here to illustrate this with. I do, and I'm going to use, this is Earth, and this is the International Space Station. So imagine the International Space Station falls, but also moves forward. Then it falls and moves forward, and it falls, moves forward. Falls. That's what an orbit is. It's just falling, but you're moving forward at the same rate that this curvature is falling away from you. And Newton figured that out, and that's how he was able to figure, by watching an apple fall or watching anything fall, that's how he was able to come up with his idea for the law of universal gravitation, and realize that the same force that made an apple fall to the earth was the same force that held the moon in place and that held the planets in place around the sun. So, yeah, anything in orbit is falling. Well, if you enjoyed this, give me a thumbs up, leave a comment below, consider subscribing, and consider heading over to my Patreon page. That's Planet of Mystery's Patreon page. It's www.patreon.com/planetofmystery. That's planet_of_mystery. We just finished up a contest over on the Planet of Mystery website. We'll probably have another one coming up here sometime in the not too distant future. So until I see you next time, enjoy some coffee and astronomy.